Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. Special thanks to my producer, Mr. Logan Landers, for making it happen for me today. And I'm your host, Vincent Turner. Today's video is our NFL draft prospect of the past. In his moment, Mr. Nolan Cromwell, safety out of the University of Kansas. So if you like the video today, please come and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. Young man, Mr. Nolan Cromwell, drafted in the 1976 NFL Draft. Safety, second round with the Los Angeles Rams. And the thing about Mr. Cromwell that's so amazing is that he was a gentleman. His first 2 years at the University of Kansas, he played safety. But they decided, you know what? We're going to go to the wishbone and we're going to make him a wishbone quarterback. And my first knowledge of Nolan Cromwell was that he led an upset win in 1975 over the University of Oklahoma. And at that time, I was a big-time Oklahoma fan. And that Oklahoma team went on to win the national championship, beating Michigan in the Orange Bowl that season. And that Oklahoma team had Billy Brooks, Steve Davis, Joe Washington, Victor Hicks, the Selman brothers, Leroy and Dewey Selman, Zach Henderson, Terry Peters, and Jimbo Elrod. Well, that weekend that they upset at Oklahoma, Nolan Cromwell was National Player of the Year of Sports Illustrated. And I look what he had in that game. He had over 100 yards, but that's when he came on the scene. In that year as a wishbone quarterback, on September 27, he had 294 yards against Oregon State. And he was a guy that was one of the best all-around athletes that came into the National Football League. Before he left Kansas, he was also Big 8 Offensive Player of the Year in 1975. He played 11 seasons in the National Football League with the Los Angeles Rams, and he was NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1980. Four-time Pro Bowler, three-time first-team All-Pro, another gentleman that's not in the Hall of Fame. I just don't get it. And then he played on that Los Angeles Rams team. John Wayne, Hollywood, the City of Angels, Compton, California. You can't get no better. And he was on that 79 team that had a lot of star power that played the Pittsburgh Steelers. Vince Ferragamo, Cullen Bryant, Wendell Tyler, UCLA, Lawrence McCutcheon, Evers Peacock, Boomer Sooner, Drew Hill, Georgia Tech, Charles the Tree Young, USC, Dennis Harrell, University of Miami, Jacket Slater, Jackson State, Larry Brooks, Jackson State, Fred Dry, Jack Youngblood, Gators, Jack Reynolds, Hacksaw, University of Tennessee, Eddie Brown, who played in the secondary with him, University of Tennessee, Rod Perry, and the great Patrick Thomas, Texas A&M, College Station. And this gentleman right here was the safety on that team and played at another level. The skill set, when you're talking about a safety playing in the National Football League during the 80s and the 70s, he was very versatile, A+. Understand the value of playing a position, A+. The worth ethic, A+. Very athletic, A+. Let me tell you this. When I'm saying athletic, in 1977, he was voted Big 8 Athlete of the Year during that decade in the 70s. And there was a lot of great football players, gentlemen, that played in the Big 8. From Greg Pruitt, Joe Washington, Jack Mildred, Johnny Rogers, and Rich Glover. This gentleman was voted Big 8 Athlete of the Decade. Then getting back to the skill set as a safety, the instincts, A+. Quick to react, A+. Very explosive, A+. His hands, A+. Ball skills, A+. Tackling, he was very physical as a safety, A+. The closing quickness, A+. The range and play speed, A+. The pursuit angle, A+. And he played at a high level. He was very confident. and he was outstanding in run support, A+. In his career in the National Football League, as I mentioned the hands, he had 37 career interceptions, 4 touchdowns, and he had 671 return yards on his interceptions. One of the greatest football players that ever came out of the state of Kansas. He was an All-American at Kansas. But he played at another level with the Los Angeles Rams. Outstanding football player, man. Very outstanding. And one of the best that ever done it. And when you look at Nolan Cromwell, outstanding, excuse me, I want to correct something. He wasn't taken in the 76 NFL draft. He was taken in the 77 NFL draft that had Ricky Bell, Tony Dorsett, Gary Jeter, A.J. Dewey, Raymond Claiborne, and Stanley Morgan. He was with that group. And that was a special group. But out of that group, to me, he was probably the best defensive player in that draft. Nolan Cromwell, one of the best all-around safeties that played at a high level in the National Football League, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. My God, what are we doing here? And I'm going to tell you something else about Nolan Cromwell. In 1976, you know how much great an athlete he was? He qualified for the Olympic trials in the low hurdles. Athlete, freakazoid, come wind me up. Nolan Cromwell, University of Kansas, Gail Sayers, John Riggins, Hollywood, the Los Angeles Rams. If you liked the video today, please come in and share it. I've been your host, Vincent Turner. Thanks again to my man, my producer today, Mr. Logan Landers. Be blessed here on 100 Yards of Football.